there comes a night, not with rage, not with tears, but with stillness. You stare at the silence long enough and realize it's no longer speaking to you. It never was. You were projecting, begging shadows for answers. But silence is not a dialogue. It's a wall, and something inside you snaps, not loudly, quietly, like a rope giving way under too much weight, and the fall begins. But this time, you don't fight it. Falling is not always failure. Sometimes it's freedom. You fall away from the expectations, from the illusions, from the need for closure. You fall and land in a place beyond disappointment. Not numb, not cold, just resolved. The silence, which once hurt, now becomes familiar. And in that familiarity, you find clarity. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Her silence was never a weapon. It was a mirror, and you were the one swinging it against yourself. Now you stop. You don't forgive her. You don't hate her. You simply remove her name from the temple. She is no longer a deity, no longer a ghost. She becomes what she always was, someone who didn't stay. And that fact no longer needs explanation. The man now walks past the room where he once waited. He doesn't enter. He places the phone face down. It no longer owns him. The hourglass, once empty, is shattered. Time is his again. The fog clears. The mirror reflects. And what he sees isn't the boy who begged. It's the man who endured. You speak nothing, but your silence is different now. It's not weakness. It's sovereignty. You no longer chase answers. You carry them inside. You no longer wait for her to return. You've already left. And in that departure, you found yourself. Say this, and remember it. If silence is all you have to give me, I'll wear it like armor and not a wound. There are two types of silence, the one that breaks you and the one that builds you. At first, hers broke you. Now yours builds you. You don't need revenge. You don't need closure. You need distance and silence of your own, not as punishment, as power. Silence isn't empty. It's heavy. It carries weight. It crushes quietly. Some wounds are not inflicted by actions, but by the absence of them. The messages not sent, the calls not returned, the words not said. Rejection, at least, is closure. Silence is a sentence without an end, a question left hanging in a room that no longer echoes. This is not about heartbreak. It's about the quiet execution of hope. It's about the man who spoke into the void and waited for an answer that never came. Men are raised to understand conflict, confrontation, defeat. We are taught to survive a punch, not a shrug. We can handle a slap, not a disappearing act, because silence forces introspection, and introspection for many men becomes a war zone. What did I do wrong? Was I not enough? Too intense? Too open? You scan your own memories like surveillance footage. Every smile, every text, every touch. Interrogated, analyzed, weaponized against yourself. The silence becomes your accuser. And you, desperate for reason, turn the blade inward. She doesn't reply. She ghosts. She disappears. But what she truly does is shift the burden of explanation onto you. Her silence says, "You figure it out. You weren't worth the effort. You don't deserve a conclusion." And you accept that trial because you were raised to take responsibility, even when none of it was yours to carry. But what if the silence wasn't about you at all? What if her vanishing act said more about her emptiness than your worth? Still, logic doesn't ease the ache, because pain isn't rational, it's primal. and silence becomes a haunting. You don't miss her. You miss who you thought she was, and who you were allowed to be for a moment in her presence. Nietzsche taught that life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be endured. Silence is not a riddle. It is a mirror. Schopenhauer would say this suffering stems from desire, the desire for clarity, connection, reciprocity. Silence mocks those desires. Jung warned, "What we do not confront within, we meet as fate." Every time we avoid the pain of silence, we recreate it. We chase emotionally unavailable partners because silence feels familiar, even when it wounds us, and so we bleed in the dark, calling it fate. Imagine a man screaming into a canyon. No echo returns. Imagine him holding a gift in trembling hands, only to find the door shut, the room abandoned. Picture a man writing letters he never sends because there's no one left to receive them. An ocean of words, and not a single shore. Men don't let go easily, not because we are weak, but because we loved without games. So you check the phone, at 2 a.m., at 6 a.m., at noon, always hoping the silence breaks. Maybe she's busy, maybe she's